What is up, everybody? This is the official August Raythe Rain newsletter. We're going to tell you all the cool stuff coming up in August. First, here's the business. Facebook Live readings of Empire of Stars. Those will happen on August 15th and August 22nd. If you are new to Empire of Stars, it's a gay sci-fi action and adventure romance. A couple times a month, Raythe reads 2 chapters at a time out loud. So her live readings are basically keeping pace with what she posts on the site, unlike Dragon's Reign, the podcast, which is lagging far, far behind the written story. Speaking of Dragon's Reign podcast, that's coming up on August 1st and August 29th. And members will be able to get those in the member podcast area. Story and book updates. Well, there's one big update because this is the month of Cinders and Ashes, Book 1. We're really excited. Raythe thinks that she really brought her A game in writing it. I haven't read it yet, so I believe her. Sylvia did a beautiful, amazing, and totally appropriate cover for this. And if you know Raythe, she takes the fairy tale, which is very short, and uses it as sort of the bones of the story, but goes way, way more in depth into the world and the characters and adds a bunch of stuff. So I think it's going to be really cool. If you're a member, Raythe will be asking you to be a proofreader. Look for that email during the week of August 3rd. She'll tell you how many people she's looking for and deadlines and stuff. So if you're interested in that, just keep your eyes open. As always, this book will be free for members for an exclusive download period before the book goes live on Amazon. That is August 20th. We have to do this because if we offered the book to members all the time and kept it in Kindle Unlimited, that would technically violate Amazon's terms of service. And we don't really want to run afoul of Amazon. They're the only game in town, so we don't want to anger the lion in the lion's den. If you do download this book, it would really, really help us out if you reviewed it in the first 3 days of the Amazon launch. This helps us get visibility so much, and that's so important because the more reviews we get, the more Amazon is going to recommend it to other people who are looking for this same kind of story. As for the free stuff, we didn't really schedule a lot because of Cinders and Ashes. It's kind of taken up all of our focus. But on August 8th, for members, there will be 25 free audiobook codes for Cursed 1. And as usual, there are 4 new chapters of Empire of Stars, which is still free to read. Those will be on August 9, 11, 13, and 16. And by the end of that, we will be up to chapter 23 of Empire of Stars. And of course, if you can't catch the Facebook Live readings, we've archived all of them on our YouTube channel. It has its own playlist, so it's easy to listen to in order. But unlike the Dragon's Reign podcast, this is just raw. Like whatever happens on the stream gets posted. So you hear chatter and responses to comments and stuff like that. Now we're on to the member space. We had some really cool answers to Facebook questions this month. I kind of made a tactical error, though. I have to say, this is on me. When these discussion questions come up, Raythe and I talk about it, but I'm the one actually logging into the account and doing the posting. I know a lot of people can tell because we have very different voices, but when I posted this particular question, people got really excited because they thought Raythe was going to write that next. She is not. We are so booked up in our editorial calendar for like the next 2.5 years. We just had our meeting yesterday. So I posted, how do you feel about alpha, beta, omega dynamics? And people had a really cool wide range of responses. But I want to make it clear that she is not doing that next, nor for the foreseeable future. We have some very cool news stories, but of course, none of them will have that alpha and beta and omega stuff. And then, what are your favorite tropes in urban fantasy besides vampires and shifters? And yes, people cottoned on to the fact that I did mean werewolves. I will link to this particular discussion in the comments, but there are definite trends that I saw, just like the fairy tale trends of the month before. Lots and lots of fae, like fairies, fae, especially Celtic stuff, Seelie and unseelie courts. And if that's your thing, you're going to love Cinders and Ashes. Let me just say that. Speaking of the question about fairy tales, it is official. Raythe is going to do a retelling of Hansel and Gretel. And yeah, they're going to be brothers. We talked about it yesterday in the meeting. She's pretty excited about this concept. And I'm not sure when that's going to go in the schedule. We're still way out because none of the other stories are in danger of finishing soon. Though by the end of this year, yeah, there will be a new one on the lineup. You guys did that. She never even considered it. Hansel and Gretel. I mean, if there is a Raythe Rainier idea, I don't know what it is. You've got the darkness, you've got, the sibling thing and the witches and just whole dark fantasy aspect of it. It's been a while, so she's really excited too. I think like everybody, Raythe is tending toward total escapist fantasy, the heroic stuff like elves and swords and the darker stuff like what's coming up. And I think that is reflected in a lot of people's book purchases right now. So with everything going on in the world, sometimes you just need that perfect, impossible escape. Anyway, that's all the news that I have for August. Again, watch for the cover reveal officially of Cinders and Ashes Book 1. I know some of you have seen it already and found it on Amazon. It's not like a secret, but we want to do something official because it's fun and cool. Talk to you soon.